And yeah, so, but yeah.
Yeah, it's always a problem with either the iPad or my computer. So I just always use my phone.
Oh, okay.
It always seems to work. So um, that is a good little tip there for you. Just use your phone when you find that you're having trouble. So how are you?
I'm pretty good. We had a long week and we're getting ready to go to Matt. So that's been a little busy getting stuff done, but you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. This is just a little something I threw on to make the truckers get excited. The ones that you show it to on the road that might be on the DL or sneaking out of those what do you call those things in the back of trucks y'all have there?
The sleepers?
Yeah, the sleepers, sneaking in and out of the sleepers.
It can happen.
Now, okay, so today, before we start, because this is Zoom, so we can cut and edit it.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to talk openly and candidly. Hopefully, in the last episode, I was sort of not episodes in the last season. I was tipping around the questions because I was nervous about what to really ask people. And then my agent, she made it very clear that we need the truth or as close to the truth as we can get from your personal experiences and what you really want to share with your audience and our audience.
Okay.
Now, so I'm going to ask you a variety of different questions, things that I think will be relevant to the show, and things I think that I've learned from in the past because my brother was a truck driver for Cisco for like 30 years.
Okay.
And now he lives in Detroit up there. He owns a nightclub up there, and he's doing his thing. And I'm here in Toronto doing my thing. Now, so we're going to start off with just a little bit of an introduction about you, about what you do, and then we're going to get right into it. And we're going to have about 30 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Or under, 30 minutes or under.
That sounds good.
Okay, all right. So we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Pronoun TV and the Stephanie Stevens Show. Today on the show, we have truckers, gay truckers on the road again. And today I invited the founder of the LGBTQ plus Truck Drivers Network. He also has a visibility project and a big gay trucker podcast. And that's something I'm excited to listen to. Now, today I invited Mr. Bobby Coffe-loy.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And now, did I say the correct thing for your truckers network? Did I say that properly?
Well, the network is LGBTQ plus Truck Driver Network.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was founded a little over 2.5 years ago. And it's an organization that I founded basically off of my experience being on the road driving with my husband. We've been on the road for a little over 6.5 years. And I just seen the need within the LGBTQ community because there was really not many outlets or any source there for people to connect with each other and to provide a support group with each other. So what started basically just as a Facebook group has grown into an organization and a nonprofit program. So we have done a lot of really interesting things that I'm super proud about. And I know you had mentioned the Visibility Project. And the reason I did the Visibility Project was basically when we went to Pride events, you go to Pride events, you go to all these different events, and they showcase a lot of different flags, but they don't showcase, I've never really seen all of them. And a lot of people, the vast majority of people within our community don't even know what most of the flags means. So I literally collected, I think there's 48 flags currently, and I have a 53-foot trailer and I display them all on the side of it. And it's a really great educational tool within our community for people to see all the flags that supports them for who they are. And so we've had a lot of fun with that. And then I also do the podcast, which is a lot of fun. And I talk openly and freely about all the subjects, whether it's something that someone really wants to talk about or not. We hit all the topics. and we just kind of like, rip off the wound and just open it up, and we talk about everything, because I want it to be able to be freely talking and us just being ourselves, and a sense of community. So, and sometimes you have to talk about things that are a little uncomfortable, but it needs to be talked about. So that's kind of what I do with the podcast. And then we also do a driver memorial program, because a lot of people don't realize that a little over 3,200 drivers a year pass away while on the road. So we also honor drivers who pass away, and we send a customized t-shirt, a small car charm, and a couple other things, a condolence letter out to the families. That way that it gives a sense of closure and a recognition from the trucking community. So,
well, you're doing good things. That sounds amazing. You're doing really good things. And I like the fact that you're doing it with clarity, because I'm listening to you and there's a real focus behind it. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I just seen a gap. And I've seen a gap, when a truck passes you on the highway, a lot of people don't think about an LGBTQ driver being behind the wheel. They don't think about someone, even for me, I had this vision in my head of what a truck driver was, and it was not me. It wasn't a gay man. It wasn't someone who was a drag queen. It's not someone who is transgender. And I was so shocked to learn that there is a lot of transgender who are transitioning in their trucks, recovering from surgeries in their trucks. I could not imagine that. I couldn't even fathom that idea.
I couldn't imagine that either.
It's an amazing way to pay for surgeries and have good insurance. So I do get it. It just, before I came into trucking, I would have never thought that. So we talk about a lot of things like that, just because to get it out there, a lot of people don't realize that.
I liked something else that you said when you talked about the flags being displayed on the truck, and a lot of the community don't understand what the meaning of these flags are. And this is a good subject. Maybe I should look into that. Maybe we should look into that. And we should look into that and see if we can figure out. I'll do a show on that one night on my How Smart Are You? So see if people really understand what the flags mean and what the colors mean and stuff. That's a great idea. And I like the fact of the memorial one for the Truckers Association, because that's a great idea as well, about the trans women or the ones that do drag and stuff, or the silent cross dressers, and living in their trucks, trying to, these are kind of like secret lives that, from the truckers, from your point of view, you have a great storylines there. You have a lot of stories that you could tell about truckers on the road. When you first said that you had a husband, I was about to say, well, when you say it's hard for them to communicate, I was going to say grinder on the road.
You wouldn't believe someone that we still get hit on all the time. It doesn't matter, husband or not, we still get hit on. And a lot of the big problems with being on the road, is the bathrooms. Bathrooms are an issue. Whether you're gay, straight, bi, trans, it doesn't really matter. But there is some problems with the bathroom situations on the road. And of course, that's a big problem in America right now, is bathrooms. Everybody is up in an uproar about that and who should use them and when and where. But there's a lot of looks and different things. And but there's also a lot of people that do hit on each other in the bathrooms, and it happens. And people think that it doesn't, but it does. And
I can imagine a truck stop would be a lonely place. I mean, a trucker's life would be lonely. I mean, you're lucky because you have a lover or a husband, and you guys are on the road together. So that makes it, like a family, a type, a relationship thing there, type knit thing there, that you wouldn't really need to worry about either cruising in the washrooms or cruising the truck stops. And we know that that's happened for years. I mean, we've seen many movies, from cruising on down to, a lot of these different movies that we've seen.
And it still happens.
Well, and I mean, it's just men will be men when they're away from their families and their lives. They have to find some way to entertain themselves. And of course, I mean, we're human beings. So, of course, we want
Right.
affection and love. And these kind of things happen. And sometimes, men are always looking for an opportunity. Always looking for an opportunity. Now, let's talk about the network for a minute.
Okay.
You said that you saw a need for this that wasn't met. Now, I first want to talk about this first. Let's talk about the 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 impact of young kids, even myself when I was growing up. When my parents used to drive by the truckers, they used to pull the horn, the
Yeah.
thing there. And now, do they still do that?
Yeah, they still do it, and it's the best feeling ever. It's amazing. All these little kids now. There's some funny stories about it though. Because like I've scared the heck out of somebody before because the mom wasn't paying attention, but the kids in the back seat doing the little aren't, and blew the horn. But it's amazing. And we've seen a lot of people stand on the overpasses, the bridges and stuff, and they'll do that. And then there's also been like times where picketers or people have been like protesting and things, and like we've honked in support and things like that. So it still happens out here. It does, and it just brings a smile to all drivers' faces. Like we enjoy it. It makes me feel like a kid again, and it's very
Wonderful.
nostalgic.
There's something else I will never forget because I went with my brother a couple of times in his truck to deliver this meat and this food to warehouses or something, and he used to always be on the CB radio. Do you still have CB radios?
We do. It's not used as much as it used to be. Most people today, I use it all the time. However, I turn it up more whenever I am in inclement weather or if there's an accident ahead and traffic's backed up and I got to see what's going on. Besides that, the camaraderie between drivers is not exactly there like it used to be. And so that's part of that lack but I feel a lot of that in society as well too. I don't feel that there is a camaraderie between LGBTQ as much as it used to be and people building things. So I mean, but I see it a lot in trucking that I don't feel that we're not as close connected. And on the CB is one of those places you see it a lot because a lot of people just want to complain and cuss each other out pretty much. And
okay. All right, I'll skip it. I'll skip the breaker 19. This is so I'll skip that part because that's what I remember the most because I used to do it all the time with my brother and my parents. And okay, so let's go back to the network.
okay.
Now, once you set the network up, is there a support system for you?
With the network, it is a support system that we've built basically amongst each other. So a lot of people within the page, as you spoke a little bit ago about being alone in the truck stop, and that's a lot of the part of why the network exists. So we have a lot of people that we lose to suicide, and suicide happens a lot within the trucks, and they'll find drivers, which is a horrible situation for everyone involved. But so we try to bridge that gap. We try to make sure everybody know that whether you're out, whether you're not out, whether you're closeted, whether it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, even if you're straight and just need a friend to talk to, it does not matter. Even though we are an LGBTQ group, we are for everyone. Even when it comes to the driver memorial program, we honor all drivers that are lost on the road. We don't just honor LGBTQ. So it's about a sense of community for everyone. And we have a lot of amazing allies to our community that are even on our page and support and our admins and moderators. And you can always reach out to them and talk to someone. If you're lonely, we're always there to chat with. There's always somebody that's available. And so, when I said that we had this gap and was bridging a gap, the thing is, I feel that the LGBTQ community and the bar scene and a lot of the people that's in the nightclubs and all that stuff, that's an amazing opportunity. But here is drivers that maybe have the weekend off, sitting in a truck in Amarillo, as you say, and they won't take the time to take an Uber and just run over. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is bridge that gap for letting them to understand, I'm a trucker. Would I be accepted at a bar? Or I'm a gay guy. Would I even see myself associating with a trucker? So a lot of people don't think of it as an option. So for me, I'm trying to blend those two together for people to give it an option in their head that they may think about for just a second even. Or when that truck passes you down the highway, you may think, you know what, that might be an LGBTQ person. And just, it's all about giving visibility to these things, and showing the diversity of that everything is, and all the people that makes up the organization and network. So
okay. Now, I want to ask more of a personal question here. You don't have to answer it, but I think it's probably would be a good answer. I mean, a good question for both you and your partner there. Now, traveling on the road as a couple can be good and bad in a lot of situations, and mainly when you're in a cramped situation like that sleeper quarters thing there. And
right.
Gay men are some of the most pickiest men on the planet, with the way they like things done, what they want to wear, where they want things at. Is things okay at home with you and your partner?
We are amazing, believe it or not. When we went into trucking, we've been together for 15 years. And when we went into trucking, we was together for 9 years. We had just got married. We had hit a rough patch in our life. And I actually feel that trucking brought us together and kind of saved our relationship. It brought us even closer together, because we have to depend on each other all the time for the safety and security, and one is sleeping in the back while the other one is up front driving. And, I explain it this way a lot, because yes, I haul all these loads in that trailer, and that trailer may be loaded behind me, but the most important valuable asset that I have is my husband laying behind me, sleeping in the bed. And, I protect him. Now, is there moments that in a relationship, he pushes my buttons and I'd love to collect the insurance money? Yes, there is moments. Your partner pushes your buttons faster than anybody else, and they know exactly how. So, and we both do that to each other. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's actually been an amazing experience for us. Do we argue and fight? Yes. And, just like everybody else. But instead of throwing it away and having a Beyonce mentality and thinking that I can have another you in a minute, we work on our problems that we have with each other. And if we have any problems, we work it out, we talk it out. Maybe not at the moment. We may have to, blow some steam off or whatever. But and if you imagine being in a something smaller than a jail cell, because you're small, it's really, really small quarters. So yeah, you're going to get on each other's nerves. It's going to happen. But I think what helps us most with that literally is we don't mind getting out of the truck. So if we go and